Hello again, everyone, and welcome to One-on-One. I'm Martin False, and our guest today has done so much in marketing, and she also has a Woman of the Year banner, right?
Yes, I do.
And we're going to get into that, but she gave me a sticker, so Marcy, if I can peel it, I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to let you peel it for me.
I don't know if I can peel it. One thing I don't have is nails.
And I'm going to put that on for your interview.
Okay. You got it. I might need
and we're
to
going to make this official.
This says Mossy Wassy, which my office is above our store in downtown New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And one of the team members there, every time he sees me, it does not matter where I am. I mean, I could be like out in the wild. I hear him scream at the top of his lungs, Mossy Wassy could go all the way.
All right, so let's do this.
And so you'll be on a call with me and you'll hear it.
Make sure this is straight.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Because I don't want Harley and all them saying you put it on crooked. Mm-hmm. So let's put it right here.
There you go.
Let's do it.
That's like a Mossy Wassy, and we're also in your Marcy era.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Okay.
So now I have the Marcy sticker on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. You're going to say, what's going on with all this? You're going to find out in a few short seconds. Don't go away. One-on-One is brought to you by the Law Office of Waits and Downer. All right, welcome back as once again we're talking to Marcy Nathan with Rouse's, and she's a big winner of a big national award, and got my sticker on, and I'm ready to go. Cool deal. So, Marcy, Woman of the Year. Explain that before, because I know a lot of people at home are going, what's this all about?
Well, I mean, it's my beauty queen sash, but it's actually a grocery sash.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, I was awarded the top woman in grocery from Women Grocers of America, which is this great organization made up from women in grocery all over the country, all independent grocers. And it was presented at the National Grocers Association event in Las Vegas. A bunch of us from Rouse's flew out there for the NGA show, and it was great. My team made me a sash, which I didn't know I was going to get. And we all wore shopping cart crowns. So we had all these crowns made that had shopping carts all over them and all our private label products. And people took our pictures everywhere. I would say it is safe to say that we are going to continue to show up for the NGA show. Will never be.
Going to Las Vegas and having a good time. And let me ask you this, because we were talking before the program. The recollections that I have of you are so vivid. We were trying to figure out the years. But I think we settled on somewhere around mid-90s?
I think late 90s we met. I was at an advertising agency, and we handled Radiophone. When Radiophone had the division down here with Phil Dinos. Yeah. And we would come down here, Carla Weiss and I would come down here and have lunch with Phil, and we would meet with you, and it was great. I have such fond memories of Radiophone.
Oh, and Phil was just such a great person.
Such a great guy. I mean, I loved the Garvey family. I've always been really lucky of getting to work with family-owned businesses, and that was one of the first ones I got to work with.
And Phil was so good at just community, much like Rouse's is today, community. But you were doing some groundbreaking stuff. I remember the old jingle, reach for a radio phone.
Yes, Robert Alford came up with that. Robert's who I worked for. I went to work with Robert after I started at Peter Mayer. I went to graduate school and got my master's, and then I went to, did a bunch of freelance while I was in graduate school. I also did things like deliver flowers and drop the keys from the delivery van down the grate in front of the Westin Hotel, and that was the last time I delivered flowers. But they did all kinds of stuff to make money to support myself during graduate school, and then I was freelancing at Alford and ended up staying there full time. We had a bunch of great accounts. River Parish Disposal, our business stinks, but it's picking up. Yeah. It's truly one of my favorite accounts. The Fromeyer family, and then of course Radiophone, Lakeside Hospital. Right. I did the From Here to Maternity stuff with Anders Osborne. And Anders wrote the song, y'all probably know the song Stuck on My Baby, but then he wrote a song about his daughter that we used in another commercial. Yeah. But it was all really fun stuff.
He had that #1 for Tim McGraw.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah.
What was the name of that one? As the Wind Blows By?
I'm
Or
not
something?
sure.
Yeah, it was number
I
one.
still see Anders all the time.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah.
Well, let's go way back because you work behind the scenes a lot, and you're doing a lot of things. And of course, I see Tim and Donnie and Donald and all that. We've had conversations over the years, but there's a whole nother city going on behind the scenes. Well, where did you get started with all this marketing?
So I got started at Peter Mayer. So I had an internship. I was going to college at Vanderbilt, and unfortunately my mom got sick, so I came home and did my last year in New Orleans. And during that time at Tulane, I got an internship at Peter Mayer, and then sort of fell in love with it, and was really lucky because Peter called me Peanut and was like, "Let's teach Peanut everything she needs to know." And so I got a nice education in marketing and advertising from Peter himself. I went to graduate school for English and Cultural Studies because that's what I was interested in, but it sort of leads into the side of marketing that I'm in, which is the creative side. So a lot of people go to design school. I'm not an artist. We have all these great designers that work for Rouse's, but I'm an idea person and the words.
Yeah, you're cerebral. It's happening.
I call it marinating. I always say, like in a New Orleans word, I'm like, it's still marinating,
Yeah,
like I'm crab claws.
When did you know you had that gift? I mean, it takes a certain type of person to pull this off.
I sort of knew, and thank you for saying I have a gift every day. I'm sort of, do I still have my gift?
Yeah.
Do I?
You still
Which
have
I
a
do,
gift.
yeah. Which I'm very lucky. I think that every creative person, that's sort of the asking your question. Am I still, learning? Am I still evolving? But I think I learned quickly with some of which with Radiophone. We did all this stuff with all the sports. We did Mike Ditka, did Ricky Jackson, all of those. Really fun, the 57 cheeseburger commercials. I sort of realized I had a gift for puns too, and really had a way with words. And that from that, people just gave me the opportunity to learn and learn other aspects of the business. So I didn't stay just a copywriter and just a producer. Not that there's anything limiting about being a copywriter and producer. TV guys, I got to work with Tom Buchholz, really a great director. I just had the opportunity to learn from so many great people. So I think my gift was nurtured by a lot of these great people.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
You also have this ability to get people to do things that they normally would not do. And can I use myself as an example?
I know what you're going to say.
You put me in a chicken suit.
Yes. Yes. Martin was the Houma to Chicken for our grand opening of our Houma store.
Well, I couldn't tell you no.
He couldn't tell me no, and he was so good that I think nobody else ever wanted to be the chicken after that.
That was a one-time contract.
It was a one-time contract, and it was hot, and you were awesome.
It was hot.
It was hot, and we had a bunch of winners who came in and clucked,
Yeah.
and I came across, that was just the other day. We're going on 1 year anniversary, where we've hit the 1 year anniversary. We're going to be doing some celebrating at that Houma store next month.
So, Woman of the Year, that's when I went into Rouse's headquarters, they had the full life picture and everything, and it was so cool to see, but that's when my wheels started turning.
Yeah.
I said, we see Donnie and we've seen Donald over the years, we've seen Tim, but Marcy's behind the scenes. I said, one-on-one.
I'm not as behind the scenes as people because I'm the editor of our magazine too. So we have 11 years with the magazine, and people will stop me in the store when they see me because they recognize me from the magazine. But when you were asking about my gift, I would say, going back to that, my real gift is listening. So I don't think that people fully understand how invested in the creative, which is my arena, the Rouse family actually is. So if you're seeing that new commercial, it's a great example. If you're seeing the new commercial that's the 1 million customers a week can't be wrong, Donald Rouse came up with that commercial. I'm getting all the accolades. That was a Donald Rouse. He was on the set when we were filming and working on the edit with me on all of that, and that was great. Donnie and I talk all the time. It's my job to execute a lot of their ideas, to take what they're thinking, and it's their name on the building, and want to present their personality and their ideas and what their vision is for the store and for the community.
But you've seen people in your role that have, and let's face it, they become celebrities. I mean, you put the TV on, now you see Donnie all the time.
Yeah.
And back in the day when Donna was there. So you're sort of in the business of making people celebrities. They did pretty well with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're easy celebrities. Donald and Donnie both have the ability to do it in one take. Donnie literally can do it in one take. Donald was maybe 1.5 takes. And Tim is, a great storyteller. Allie's a great storyteller. But yeah, a lot of businesses have a spokesperson or someone who speaks for them as the company, and we are really fortunate because we have ownership that can speak for us. So
Yeah. So does
really
Allie get involved in the commercials too?
Allie's not involved with the commercials. Allie's involved with the magazine, and Allie and I have worked together the whole time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So let's get down to the brass tacks of things.
Okay.
How, with all these stores,
64, soon to be
Yeah.
66.
and the reason I never say the exact, I knew it was 64 last time because it will be 66 when I'm doing the next
Yeah,
interview.
exactly. And then we talk about that all the time. We have to do we go in and double check and count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does a marketing platform just keep going with that many stores? What's the secret? I know you won't give me every secret.
No. Our secret is our team. So I don't think that people realize, again, you talk about only seeing, primarily seeing the family and seeing Tim and a bit seeing me, but you don't get to see how many great people are on our team. We have 10 people who are really fantastic and are keeping everything going, including Harley Bro and Amanda Kennedy and Taryn Claymont, Casey Gauche, really just this great team that really are as passionate. Donald has a line that he says, we're as passionate about food as you are. Our team is as passionate about what we do, about marketing, but also about Rouse's. And that is really our secret. So we're able to be sort of everywhere at once because of it. I'd also say we have really grown. When I first started doing Rouse's, it was newspaper, TV, HTV, and and Saints Radio. And you really only ran on WWL way back when.
Right. Yeah.
So, we do a little bit of Fox 8, a little bit of WDSU. And now, I just was looking at a study yesterday, 26% to 32% of customers in each city get their video through streaming only. So when you and I talk, and I'm like, how many people are watching it?
Right.
We're just asked different questions. They want the same content, but how do they get it?
That's
So we
why
really have to be on
stream
top of it.
everything we do now.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
You were coming up in marketing before we had YouTube, and Facebook, and all that. So you had to evolve too, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I mean, I think we had AOL when I got started, and that was it. Yes, and it's constantly changing. So social media is changing every day, and the social media people are using to get information is changing every day. How we consume news is changing every day. Yes, I now watch, I was saying, I don't remember the last time I actually looked at an actual TV. I watch you on my computer.
Yeah.
And Rouse's has been great about evolving with that and recognizing that the circular is still so incredibly important, and everybody wants to get that circular, and what's in that circular is so important. But you see that we will put basically that circular in front of customers in a different way. So right now, if you go to a lot of websites on a Friday, you will see our circular as what we call banner ads. So we try and put the price and item to still interrupt whatever you're doing to get that.
And I guess in what you do and what your team does, when I do a TV show and we're launching, I'm thinking of, okay, I just looked at Facebook and my demographics are mostly women now. So 35 to 55. So how can I cater to them but not forget the other ones? Y'all probably do this all the time.
We do. We break out. So when I do the media, I break out first by households, which is a question you and I talk a lot about, which is how many, everything's measured in impressions. It used to be those books. Remember when people used to fill out a book? Like, so you would get ratings for shows, and everything was based on ratings. Now everything is just based on household impressions. But yeah, so they're all looking at it in a very different way. I like what y'all do, which is you put so much of your content straight onto social media, and that's always my advice to other media: is do what HTV is doing. You don't want to just hold it just for a show.
We're putting it all on.
Yeah, because you want them to get it wherever they're going to get it. It doesn't matter where people are consuming the media. You just want them to consume what you're doing.
We're embedding the commercial in the front too.
Yes, it makes all the difference.
Sometimes people just click off of it. We embed it.
So they have to see it.
it. And we alternate the big spots so everybody gets there.
We like streaming a lot, and that you can't skip it.
Yeah,
you have to watch the commercial. Yeah.
So, I guess a lot of people watching this show, they see Donnie on the commercials, and he's larger than life.
Yes, he is.
And I'm sure when people run into Donnie or Donald, they get a little nervous and they say,
they shouldn't. Wait, by the way, let me say this.
That's what I'm about to ask you. They're so down to earth.
I've known them forever. I mean, it's been more than 20 years. So I've sort of come up with the company where we had, I think, 15 stores, 16 stores, 15. I think when we opened, Covington was my first store that we opened. First commercials I did down here were those farmer commercials. And then we did the Bayou Boys down at Lake Verret at Attakapaw Landing. Yeah. And then, so I've watched everyone, and I've also been very fortunate that I knew Mr. Anthony, but I didn't work a lot with Mr. Anthony, but I had some experience with him. Then I had this great experience with Donald, who was running the company at the time, and then the transition to Donnie. And I also have gotten to see all the third generation come up. And, Tim's sons, Nick and Chris, are involved with the business. Allie, of course, Blake is on our marine side. So that is, they're all very approachable. They're just people. And they're great people. And by the way, when you read our magazine to me is such an expression truly of who the family is. So it's really about, they love to eat. They love to eat. We talk about food all day long at Rouse's. Harley and I driving over here, we're talking about lunch, and she said to me, "It's almost lunch." And I said, "It's 9:40. It's 9:40. It's still breakfast." But we talk about food constantly.
It's an event.
It's an event, and we celebrate food, and we celebrate our makers. That's another thing that I really love. We stopped. We were going to be a couple minutes late because we wanted to meet with French Truck that was in from New Orleans, and like their story. We love the stories of these small independent businesses, and we try and weave those into everything we do. And that's the joyful part of my job, is getting to help the small businesses and Saints.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm. This one-on-one program has been brought to you by the law offices of Waits and Downer.